starting. So now we have an intro for about 10 seconds, and then we're live. So what are you doing? I know there's black fuzz on my face. Welcome back to the Calvin and TJ podcast, where every video it seems Calvin is less and less part of this podcast. So tonight we have a sub, and that sub is Sabrina. If you don't know her, we're gonna have to teach her how to speak in these mics so you guys can hear her clearly. When you talk, you want to be like in the mic. You don't want to be like making out with it, but you want to be like a good distance from it.
Okay.
This is gonna be a rough one, boys. So today our topic is gonna be conspiracy theories. But before we get into that, I want to make a special announcement to our sponsors this week. Tuna Crate, as you guys know, they are one of our best supporters, always sponsoring the podcast. And today, the Tuna Crate is very special because this month's Tuna Crate sponsor is Showboy. Over here, Hunt & Company is sponsoring this month's Tuna Crate. So we got a bunch of stuff that you guys would relate to. We got some FTB shirts. I don't want to undo everything because I like it being neat. You guys know that. And we have some cool stuff. We have Selena on this month's shirt. We have a Hunt & Co. dad hat. We have the Hunt & Co. socks in this box, pins, posters, stickers, a bunch of cool stuff. So be sure to go check that out. If you use the code HUNT, you save 20% off on a subscription box. So be sure to check that out. Thank you to our sponsors. Also, Movement watches. Guys, we wear them in nearly every single video, or at least I do. I am a big supporter of them, and they are cheap, affordable, good-looking watches, and I wear it all the time. You can use the code TJ10 and save yourself 10% off of all Movement watches. Whose phone is going off? Is that mine or yours? That is my laptop.
That is your computer.
So let me just mute that. I don't have a monster, and you do. It's going to make me want one.
I'll share with you. Where did yours go? Probably in my car.
I left it in the car. I 100% left it in the car.
Because you can leave things in my car, but if I leave anything in his car, World War III.
So the first one that I want to bring up, which I originally thought it was pretty stupid, but the more and more I thought about it, they have some good points. Okay. So this is the flat Earth conspiracy. Now, I'm sure we've all heard of it, but if you haven't, it is essentially the idea that the world is not a sphere. It's literally flat, as in maybe a square plane. I'm not really sure. I mean, what it says here, and I'll quote this, in the 19th century by the president of the society, Daniel Shrenton, claims that because the horizon always meets eye level, it is proof that the Earth is flat because the view would not be possible if the Earth was a globe.
How?
It goes on to say, this is where it got me, and I was like, oh shit, that's kind of weird. They explain that if the Earth was round, one would be able to see the curvature from an airplane. An additional belief is that lights orbiting, pretty much satellites are like phonies and put out there to deter us away. But think about this. Now, I'm all about science, but how does one really know if the Earth is not flat? Because the point of them being in an airplane, when you're 10,000 feet in the air.
Literally satellite pictures of the Earth, and it's round.
Okay, and how could that not just be photoshopped?
Why would they? What would their reason be for photoshopping it?
Why would they not? Like battle me on this. Seriously, try and tell me.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that you think the Earth is flat?
I mean, I can't tell you it isn't. I don't know.
It's not. It's round. It's a sphere.
How do you know that?
Because scientists said so.
Because they have pictures of it?
Yeah. They literally send crafts up into space, take pictures of the planets, and they are round.
The analogy I can make right now, I know you guys love my analogies. I could take a picture of my elbow crack, and I could send it to you and be like, that's my ass crack. And when you look at the picture, you'd be like, damn, that's his ass crack.
Okay.
But you zoom out and it's not. It's just
But then riddle me this. What's their purpose in doing that? Why do they want you to think the Earth is flat?
Because maybe the government is somehow over controlling everything, and they don't want you to know that the Earth is actually flat. And they're brainwashing us to think this. But
who originally said the Earth was flat?
Hey.
And then Christopher Columbus sailed around.
So he thought maybe it was a circle. He just went in a big circle and never actually And this myth also debunks that gravity is a thing, because that's what makes the Earth round, is gravity.
But if it was flat, wouldn't you just right off the edge eventually? No?
We don't know.
Yeah,
I think
you would.
it's an ongoing thing, or
Look.
no, or
Let me make a prop. So that's North America.
that's not really.
And this square is Europe. Now, in order to get from North America to Europe, I have to go around, and then I can just come back. But if the Earth was flat,
you just go straight to it.
Yeah, but people go around.
Maybe there's a portal that you just zip through. Black holes are a thing, so we're told.
Black holes are a thing, and
so we're told.
So what?
So we're told. We don't really know.
No, there's been science.
All I'm saying is you can't give me factual evidence that the Earth is round. You don't need to look it up. There's no need for that. But all I'm saying is that, do you really know?
Yes. There's satellite images. There's been travel. That's a theory from like the 1700s.
So how come when you go up in an airplane and you look down, you don't see a curve?
Not high enough.
So what, you need to be in outer space to see it?
Pretty much, yeah. The Earth
so
is huge.
what's the percentage of people that actually go to outer space in life?
Not very many.
Less than like 0.5%, probably less than that. So nearly the entire world hasn't really seen with their own eyes that the Earth is a sphere. We're just believing what we're told because it's being told to us in a fancy, believable way. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, hey, the Earth's flat. I'm saying, do you physically know that with your own eyes? No. Think about that.
Well, no.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. 110%.
But you still think the Earth is round.
I mean, I don't really give a fuck. I mean, my life isn't affected either way. But all I'm arguing the fact is, hey, I mean, yes, you asked me a question, do I think the Earth is round? I'll say yeah. But like, do I really know that? No, I do not. And neither do you.
But I do, and scientists do.
All right, okay, fine.
And
hey,
they tell
all right,
you that.
next theory. What is your theory?
I would like to. I've been interested in this since like 6th grade when it was brought to my attention. But I wanted to talk about the Illuminati and the idea that there's like a select few elite, very wealthy people that essentially want to control everything. And I remember hearing something about like Beyonce and Rihanna being a part of it. And you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
I mean, obviously.
That's for sure a thing. 100%.
Is there any evidence you can bring to the table other than just being like they're in the Illuminati?
Well, I was looking it up and I came across this thing that was saying that there's this symbol of like the eye, right?
Yeah,
like the
everyone knows the eye. I went to my Hova concert that one time. I was like this.
Your Hova concert?
Hova!
Who's Hova?
Wow. Jay-Z?
Oh, okay. Well, sure. Not that big of a fan. But anyways, look at all of these celebrities with like going like this or like this, or they're like this. Isn't that interesting? They're all like covering up their eye. Like Kesha has like her hair over her eye in one picture.
I mean, I just think it's style.
Okay, well not all of them have their... What is that? I don't know if one of my eyes is covered, but that's what it's supposed to be doing. And that's all like their symbol of letting people know that they're part of it. And Jay-Z and Beyonce are like...
How do you become a part of it?
You're talking to the wrong person, but I don't know. But I think that's for sure a thing.
I mean, dude, here, I could look it up for you. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's along the lines of like you sell your soul to the devil and you join the Illuminati.
Well, I wasn't finding anything on the devil. But
yeah,
that's
it's
where
like
it originated.
It's like a satanic...
Well,
like you give up your life to be successful in life.
No, so it was originated in like the late 1700s or something by some guy, and yeah, he was saying that if you gave your soul away to some like dark power, that you would get granted with all this power and you would have power over people, and it was abolished, and I think he maybe died or something because people thought that it was so ridiculous, but it got like reintroduced later in the 1900s, and that's when like all of these celebrities and everything started coming forward with it.
Well, out of what? Out of like what's their motive?
Well, let me find it for you.
You're kind of blowing this one.
How am I blowing this one?
I mean,
fuck,
I don't believe in that at all.
Why? Mr. The Earth is flat.
That's completely different. It's just there's nothing there that's like any factual evidence. Just because someone has a picture of them going like, okay, ready, watch this, ready?
But that's like their symbol to other people in the Illuminati. So like we don't, like we look at it and we're like, oh, that's just like a fancy album cover. But people that are part of the Illuminati look at it and they're like, oh, that's a member. You know?
Okay, watch this.
I'm like, no offense, but like you're not elite enough.
I don't know if you know, but I have 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. Okay. I have over 300,000 followers on Instagram. I'm elite as fuck.
Wait, how many people watch your Snapchat?
110.
Well, that's not anything compared to the Justin Bieber's, Jay-Z's, and Beyonce's.
So I'm still doing it.
No.
All I'm saying is like that's my logic.
And what is your logic in that the Earth is flat?
Dude, it's a completely different topic. You gotta stay on topic.
No, because you're trying to make me look stupid.
No,
right now.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
Hold on.
Like complete devil's advocate. Like, okay.
Hold on.
I just don't see much behind it. Like, I thought you were gonna give me a little more than that.
This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, you can cut this out.
Nope, we don't cut anything out. I'll move on to the next one. This one's been really popular.
No, how are you just gonna move on?
Well, because this is a live feed, and as much
this
as
is not a live feed.
Well, it's live in the sense that there's no cuts, and as much as I want you to be not a noob, you're still kind of a noob. So when we hit dead silence, they are poor left listening to this.
You're the
ready?
one.
Ready? Watch. Ready? Watch. Listen. That's it.
I'm the one that said, TJ.
They don't want to listen.
How do you want me to do a podcast on conspiracy theories when I don't know anything about conspiracy theories? And he goes, "It's easy. Just talk about it."
I guess that's why it's called the Calvin TJ podcast. So
well,
we can shoot the shit for a long time and just talk. But hey,
what are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say you go like this. Ready?
I don't know.
Hey, it's okay.
I was only quiet because I was trying.
It's your first podcast.
Don't touch me.
It's your first rodeo.
Don't touch me.
It's okay. This next one.
All right. Well, fuck
chemtrails. This one's been extremely popular, and my friend Sam has been obsessed with this. And I'm. Anyways, it is the idea that. Well, first of all, chemtrails are those when you see like jets flying in the sky or airplanes flying in the sky, they leave that like white trail of smoke or whatever it looks like. That's a chemtrail. And lately, I guess in the past couple of years, or whatever, they've been much, much more recent, says people of the earth, and they've been seeing it more often. And people are like wondering why there's so many random chemtrails. Like they're not even like passive airplanes. They're just like random whatever. So pretty much, people have come up with the myth that it's some type of chemical sprayed by the government to control the population.
How is it controlling the population?
Well, it's in the idea that that white stuff is chemicals, and it's dropping into certain areas, and it's creating mutation, and I don't know if it's a sense of mind control, but essentially has some sort of play in population.
And tell me, what proof do you have of that, since you're all about that?
I don't believe it. I'm just suggesting the fact that chemtrails are a hot topic right now.
So you're saying that in the recent years, there's been more smoke coming out of jet engines?
It'd be a
dust,
turbine on an engine, but yes.
A turbine. And now, just because of that, it's just this magical fairy dust.
Well, technically, it's not smoke. It's just vapor combined with low temperatures.
They look like clouds.
Yeah. They look like clouds. Absolutely. But, I mean, there's much more into that conspiracy that I don't know.
So you're just giving them silence right now.
Absolutely not.
What a newbie.
That's the last thing I'm doing. But I don't know. I wish Sam should have been here for this one. Sam could really elaborate on that. But I don't know.
You know what we should have done instead of just?
Are you fixing my what?
I mean, you had like some shit on your forehead or something from earlier, but I was just trying to get it off. We should have just done things that we argue about since we have different views on so many different things.
Like what?
Like today, for example, where you got so aggressive with me for just saying one little tiny thing.
That's a conspiracy theory. Let's do that one.
Here I go.
And here we go. Sabrina, introduce the next topic.
The fact or the idea that, what are they called?
Power lines?
Power lines. You know, they're all over communities. They're all over everywhere. That the waves don't create, but, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? They
give off?
The waves that they give off can cause cancer. And, you know, I'm just casually driving through my neighborhood, and I said something like, oh, I was going to move into this neighborhood, but my parents said no because these things cause cancer. And TJ just, what did you say, you fucking idiot?
I didn't say that.
It's pretty much what you said. That's not true. And I was like, okay, I'm not saying that there's 100% chance that you're going to get cancer if you live under these things, but it doesn't help. And what did you find?
No, go on.
He thinks that there's no correlation between radioactive waves and cancer, which is completely...
not at all what I said.
Yes,
okay,
you did.
so
you said there's no correlation
between EMF waves on which a power line gives off. There is no study that gives hard proof that being exposed, and there's no even like correlation or like any type of test, controlled environment saying if you are 5 feet, 10 feet, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 feet away from said EMF that you are exposed to X amount of radiation, which can cause cancer or can be questioned to cause cancer.
Then where did that even come from?
Your parents telling you that.
No, because these things started going up and the cancer rates started going up in the areas where they were.
We've had power lines for 100 years.
Okay.
I think. I'm guessing.
No.
I'm sure we've had power lines for like 50, 60 years. 100%. Okay. So you're saying from the past 60 years, cancer rates have gone up under power lines?
I'm saying that what it says is if you took a community, this is a community A and community B, and you put power lines in this community and no power lines in this community, and your control group was, you know, all people with the same family background and, you know, all that. So there's no like favoring either side. This community would have higher cancer rates than this community.
Okay, ready for this? First of all, that case has never been done before. You're just going off the fact that you believe this out of no...
Hence the conspiracy theory.
Okay, so let me look up this again. I mean, I could just go to my history and find it.
Yeah, because we already argued about it today twice.
Power lines causing cancer. Power lines cancer.
Look, it even comes up. It's the first thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, because if it's a very wrong, it's just not right at all.
But why? Why are you telling me that's not right?
Because there's been studies saying that the only reason why that exists is because people still err on the side of wondering if it can cause cancer, and it says that people that promote that idea would rather be safe.
Mind? Because the cancer rates were going up, where the power lines were going up.
Okay, but it's the same thing as remember in like 2004, they were like, oh, being on your phone causes cancer because radiation from your phone holding to your ears what causes cancer. That was a huge, huge thing. But that, again, was not true at all. Same thing with people thought that microwaves could give you cancer.
Okay, there is proof that the chemicals in plastic bottles, microwave...
So plastic bottles has nothing to do with radiation.
I'm not talking about.
No, so now we're talking about what causes cancer. See what I mean? Like, you have no, like, factual evidence to back up what you're saying. You're just like,
Well, if you would have
you're
given me
just
more
saying
time,
they
then
give
I
off
could have found
radiation.
it.
Not every radiation causes cancer.
Obviously, because radiation helps cure some
And
cancers.
what radiation comes from power lines? EMF. Does EMF have any, like, statistical proof of causing cancer? No. Myth debunked. You're welcome. Come back next week to find out what else Sabrina is wrong about. I'm just kidding. But
I'm always wrong, you guys. Everything. I'm always wrong. What else?
that was the conspiracy theory, I guess, is what was going on. But I mean, who knows? I'm sure there's an article out there written by someone that says otherwise, and if that is true, leave it down below in the comments. Let's see
leave
this.
it down below in the
I'm
comments.
sure Sabrina's gonna be
with
sitting
the
at the
caption,
video.
"I'm on Sabrina's side." You're sure I'm gonna be what?
I'm sure you're just gonna be sitting by the computer waiting for those comments to back you up, which is fine.
Watch them all be like,
TJ, you're an
fucking
idiot.
idiot.
Yeah, sure.
No,
probably you'll be right.
not you. I'm saying they're all gonna call me an idiot.
Oh,
Probably not though, because they do cause cancer. But anyways, what was the next one you had on the list?
Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I'm a huge. So let me just get into it because
Oh, just get into
I'm
it.
gonna get into it because I am a huge believer of said Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
I don't think so.
Oh my god. Okay, so we've all seen the shows, Finding Bigfoot, yada yada yada, like all those stuff. Yeah, those. I don't think those are real in any way, shape, or form. But
You just said you believed in Sasquatch.
no. I said those shows are real. I don't think those shows are real at all. But the idea that a mythical creature with somewhat of an identical biological form of a human exists out there, whether he's covered in hair or whatever, but is essentially an animal, has more of an animal mindset, animal domain with human characteristics that
And he's
lives.
been alive for how many years, and we've never caught him?
Yeah,
Why?
absolutely.
No.
There's some pretty good
only one
pictures
of
out
them?
there. And there's what?
Pictures. Wait, but you can Photoshop things.
This is true, which is why it's still a myth. All I'm saying,
no such thing.
we
We would have caught it by now, or like there would have been
would
like.
we have? Or if we did,
Would we have?
or if we did, what if it's so intelligent that we're not able to catch it?
And it can live forever.
I didn't say that.
Well,
Maybe as a way of death, they bury themselves alive and dig their own grave. That's why we never find any dead ones lying around.
oh, so you're saying there's more than one? It's like a species of Bigfoot.
Oh! It's a full-blown
You are
race.
an idiot. That's not what people say. They say there's one.
No, there's multiple.
No, there's not.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, it's like the Loch Ness monster. There's only one. I mean, there's not, but like people say that there's only one.
That's a different story, and there's multiple.
I just can't win today.
No, it's 100% in an entire race of
Race. It's a race now. It's not even a species. It's a race.
Squashians. That's the race name.
Okay.
I mean, let me put it this way. What's your way of... Just tell me how I'm wrong, I guess, to start. Like, how can you say that there isn't a Bigfoot out there?
Because there's no hard proof.
There is.
There's not.
There is.
Tell me.
I mean, I don't have it backed up, but I'll find it.
Here, while you're finding that, why don't I look up proof that the Earth is round?
No, that's long gone. We're done with that. Dude, even Animal Planet has articles about it.
Animal Planet probably saw a bear rear up on its hind legs, and they took a picture from behind, and they were like, fucking Sasquatch,
So you're
we
saying
found
all those
him.
people who have reported Bigfoot sightings are just out their ass?
Yeah, they want attention.
All the millions of reports.
Millions of reports.
Millions of reports.
If there, you don't even know what you're talking about. If there were millions of reports, you don't think that somebody would have caught it by now? Riddle me that one, bud.
I believe.
And
I'm waiting to find my own.
What's the Sasquatch? Where does the name Sasquatch come from?
It's an old wooden ship from the late 1800s.
What was the exact date?
That's our Anchorman. Shout out to my Anchormans. What?
Shout out to my Anchormans. You mean your Anchorman fans?
My Anchormans. Absolutely. My Anchorman fans.
All right, so let's see. Bigfoot claims. This Huffington Post did a 5-year study.
Bullshit.
Really?
Okay.
After what the Huffington Post described as a 5-year study of purported Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, DNA samples, prior to peer review of the work on November of 2012, DNA Diagnostics, a veterinary laboratory, blah, 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 issued a press release claiming that they have found proof that Sasquatch is a human relative that arose approximately 15,000.
Wow, she just ate her own words, and we have it on camera.
No, listen to me. I'm not done. Is a human relative that arose approximately 15,000 years ago as a hybrid cross of modern Homo sapien, which is you, with an unknown primate species. So a human did the deed with a primate species, and boom, Sasquatch. No, that's another ape.
This is exactly what I said. I literally, word for word, said an animal creature with human-like characteristics.
They failed to find a scientific journal that would publish their results.
So, well, hey.
Why is that? Because there was no scientific proof.
I believe.
That's all you have to say? Because you just got wrecked.
I wouldn't say that, but...
Oh, you're doing it right now. All they're hearing is...
I was waiting for a response from you.
I'm still reading.
Okay. Well, all I'm saying is...
Geneticists who saw the paper were not impressed.
So you're obviously not a believer?
No, I literally said that at the beginning. Next one. I actually found a pretty interesting one. But I don't know if I can talk about it because I'm not that educated on it. But I did.
That's fine. Just preface it.
Okay. Oh, fuck. I'm doing it again with the silence.
What is it about?
Just give me a sec, guys.
Manchester bombing?
Okay, yeah.
That's the Ariana Grande concert, right?
Yeah. So this Manchester bombing that happened, what was it, 3 days ago?
Yeah, sure.
That everybody's claiming was an ISIS attack. I found this thing online that was saying that there's a conspiracy theory out there that Democrats and maybe even Hillary Clinton caused this bombing or did this bombing to help distract away from the fact that Seth Rick, who died, I think, a couple years ago, he was a Democratic National Committee employee. His case was coming back up, and they want to, let's see. They want to, I can't find the article. People were saying that the Manchester bombing is clearly a distraction from the Seth Rick bombshells. Look it up. Why are you looking at me like that?
I thought you were looking for it. Why would I look it up? I mean, so what? You're saying that it's somehow linked to Hillary Clinton?
No, I'm saying that people are saying that it wasn't an ISIS attack and that it was the government did it to help distract away from the upcoming reports of this murder of Seth Rick, who was some political figure that was murdered. And people were watching, like, Fox News and whatnot, saying that something was really fishy and that it was super mysterious, the way that they were talking about the bombing and how they're not bringing up... I'm trying to find it.
Huh. Well, I mean, I don't got much on that one.
Hold on.
Trying to cut and stop the footage.
Nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
This guy was murdered.
Hold on, wait 1 sec. Okay, go.
What was that?
Just go.
This guy was murdered because he apparently had a leak into 53,000 emails and 17,000 attachments that were going to out the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton. And he was murdered. I don't know why, don't know how. He was murdered. And the day before the Manchester bombing, former House Speaker on Fox News told him and his friends, you know, we have this very strange story now of this young man who worked for the Democratic National Committee who apparently was assassinated at 4 a.m. And Fox, which is a Republican news network, started bringing it back up again. And so the conspiracy theory is saying that Democrats and maybe even Hillary Clinton herself caused this Manchester bombing to help deflect away from Fox bringing back up the murder of this guy who apparently was murdered because he had leaks into the Democratic Party. That's what it was.
That's a stretch, but that's interesting.
That's
interesting.
really interesting.
Well, I always find there's a bunch of weird shit about Hillary Clinton and just fishy activity. I remember there was one link to Hillary as well about YouTube and how she had a meeting with Susan, who is like the owner, or they've been good friends in the past, and that's been like a public thing. It's been public knowledge for quite a while. I think this was like when YouTube started like it started demonetizing videos for controversial topics, mainly topics that were news channels or were talking about racy or political things. Channels like Philip DeFranco and just channels of that era. And they were talking about how they had a public meeting, like Hillary Clinton and Susan and those teams had a meeting with Susan about whatever, but shortly after that is when YouTube started to pull all their weird strings of demonetizing and doing efforts pretty much in an indirect way to deflect the drive to create content, and all these like self-speaking radio shows and that are not like Democratic or Republican. They're just like, I don't know, freelance? I don't know what you'd call it. I don't know.
Independent?
Independent, sure. And that was Hillary's attempt at.
Well,
they paid Susan a fuck ton of money under the table or something to pull strings to try and hurt channels that were spreading, truth about like.
There's multiple people that say that Hillary Clinton does like shady shit to try to cover up.
Yeah, I've met her once. She's kind of a dick.
You met her once?
Yeah. A year ago. I vlogged it.
No, you didn't.
You haven't seen that vlog? I'm kidding.
Yeah. Fuck off. Yeah, this literally makes complete sense. I mean, I don't know, but it's basically saying that it's a flag to get the headlines off of Seth Rick because they don't want to bring that back up in the news. And that it's ironic that when the news started talking about Seth Rick, that 2 days later, these bombs went off. And that it would make sense that it would be an ISIS attack, but that it's really not an ISIS attack, that it's possibly
didn't
Hillary
ISIS
Clinton.
make a public announcement that it was them?
Did they?
I thought so.
I don't remember.
So, okay, ready?
Stay
with me here. If ISIS did make that announcement or claim from said whatever account, I don't know what it is. If it's like a Twitter. What
Hillary
if
Clinton's working with ISIS?
that was my end game right there. That may be like if they were able to get them to say that, then that shows the link. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then again, I feel like the murder of a congressman isn't like that serious to try to cover up.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious thing.
It was one guy. It wasn't like it was like an assassination of the president or something.
But it was.
Like
But it was like levels
Hillary
below a president.
What? No.
A congressman is still like way the fuck up there and like important people in the world.
I guess the first person to say this was a comedian, and everyone jumped all over him for saying it. That he suggested that the Manchester bombing was a really fortunate timing for Democrats, and that he got a lot of backlash and a lot of angry comments.
That's interesting.
And then he went back out and was like, okay, sorry, like, maybe I'm just trying to come up with stuff. But I mean, I think that's pretty interesting.
It is. No, it absolutely is.
I think it's interesting when stuff happens like this and people just automatically assume that it's, ISIS or a terrorist attack, and it really could be something else.
That's an interesting point you make. I mean, I don't know of that or know much about those topics, so it's kind of hard to add to it. But I mean, I could see the argument. I mean, it would make sense, but
yeah,
sure.
I guess just all these celebrities just jumping all down his throat, saying that he's really getting the hate. he's utterly outrageous and misguided and ill-judged. Of course, these people are all probably Democratic, but I don't know.
Anyways, this was a very sporadic podcast, and we're in a very tight schedule today. And I'm leaving for Boston tomorrow morning, and I have nothing to pack. And we've been going around all day. So you guys are seeing this like 5 days after we actually filmed it. But thank you for tuning into the podcast. I promise you our next weeks will be a little bit more planned ahead. So we have a little more thought out plan of what we're going to talk about. Like I said, this was a kind of last minute deal, and I was like, Sabrina, I need you for the podcast today. So thank you for Sabrina for jumping on the podcast. You did great. You went up from noob to a recruit.
I think I went down, to be honest.
You're a recruit now. No, you went up. You went up. You got experience. You got XP. So you're a recruit now.
Wow, I'm a recruit. What's above that?
Sergeant.
What are you?
I'm Prestige 10.
Prestige 10.
Prestige 10.
What's Calvin?
Prestige 2. He's still far above you, but
What's like the 8 between 2 and 10?
What's what?
Like he's 2 and you're 10. So
Yeah.
who's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
No one. I mean, that could be filled by anybody who has the XP to achieve that level.
Me.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next podcast. You have anything to say, Sabrina?
No.
Bye.